You know, I mean, okay, it's just not my cup of tea, you know? But, anyway, enough of that tomfoolery stuff. I gotta, I gotta continue with this. Uh-oh, my computer's gonna restart. I gotta stop it. Let's see what's going on here. Postpone 4 hours. There we go. No, I do not sell my portraits. Um, I like to collect them, so if I sell them, then I won't have them anymore. Now I have considered, you know, taking on some commission work. Of course, that would really eat up into my production time, of course. I did get one commission, but the person, and here's the funny thing too. I mean, he did a service for me for my house for exchange for me to draw him a portrait, and I mean it was a $300 job. So in lieu of paying $300 for his services, he says draw me, and then I've been bugging him for months, like, well, okay, you're going to send me a photograph or something to draw, and he just pretty much hasn't cared about getting it done. So that's kind of the only commission work I've ever actually gotten. And I never have to actually do it because he just never sends me the drawing. I mean the photograph. So, and I mean I kept trying to get a hold of him, like, hey, don't you want me to do this? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'll get around to it. All right. Well, it's almost a year now. I got a feeling he doesn't care. So he did a job for me, and he did it for free. Nice. Selling prints. Well, you know, Carol, I've not thought of it, but if I was to sell a print, let's say I was to sell a print of this, I mean, does someone really want to buy a print of a drawing? I mean, when you could just get a photograph? I don't know. Maybe I think weird. You guys probably know better than I do as far as that kind of stuff, but personally, me, I wouldn't buy a print. I'd want the original. That's just me, you know. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you're learning something. All right, now I got my next layer in. What happened to my eraser? It's over here somewhere. There you are. Really? More difficult to draw with pencil than painting with colors? I would have thought it'd be more difficult to paint. But I'm going to take your word for that, Carol. Ooh. It's a dirty, dirty eraser. Get some clean spots here. All right. Roll it to a point. Well, Janet, it's in stages. I started with a 4H, then moved up to a 2H and an HB on this side here. This one all the way to 6B. So it's in stages. We call that layering. You just keep layering. So I still have more layering to do right here, but I'm starting to get the tones ratios really close here. So I'm real happy with that. Right now I need to do a little touch up here. Artist, what I just did, stretch it, fold, stretch it, fold, stretch it, fold. That's how you clean it. Okay, now I'm going to have to lighten this up a little bit because it didn't blend out. So I had hoped it would. Yeah, I've been using the Tombow pencils. All right. I gotta get me some clean Q-tips here. Okay. Give me a whole bunch of these babies. I like these the best. The ones have the paper stem. I like them better than the ones with the plastic. Yes, just stretch the eraser to clean it. That's it. It's all you have to do to clean it. There comes a point where it won't clean anymore, but that takes a long time. I can do a lot of drawings with. I have had this kneaded eraser since I started drawing 3 years ago. It's the same one. I have not ever changed it. I've never gone out and used a newer one. Okay, I'm bringing out highlighted areas here within the eye, and then I'm going to shade in the dark areas here. And I'm just doing this as I go along. I bounce from one thing to another so it doesn't get away from me too much. Always look at the reference. I'm always constantly looking back and forth, and it guides me to where I need to go. If I stare at my drawing too long without looking at the reference photo, I start letting my mind make the decisions as to how the eye should look and the mouth should look, and my mind will be wrong more times than not. So I have to look at what nature itself has done, and that's look at the man's actual face. Look at the shape, all the little shapes, the little circles and the little triangles, and all those shapes are on everybody's face. You just look at that and you look at the negative space. Pallavi, I use the smooth side of Bristol paper. It's my favorite to use. Bristol. It's the angle here. It's more of an angle there. Okay, like I said, this is live. You get to see me make my mistakes as well. Okay, there's more of an angle here, so I need to make that down here. It goes down to here. Right there. It kind of goes straight across in an angle like that. Okay, and then this part here has to be lightened up between the two lines. So I'll take that out. Okay, it's getting closer here. That's good. Okay, this goes up. Kind of has a little ring here, right there. Just ever so slightly. Okay. then that's shaded in just ever so slightly. I'll use my bud here to do that a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Alright. Slide that over to there. Okay. Just give that a little bit of gradual shading up. So it's darker here. Okay. It's mildly lighter right there. Okay, now I need this. Still using an HB. Okay, this part here, that's not really that dark right at this location. Let me lighten that up. I need it more right in this area here. So I'm going to add a little more detail there. And then I'll blend that out in a second. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more lighting up here, and then I'm going to call it the morning. So, let's see, what do we got? Okay, this does not belong here. I got to get rid of that ever so gently. I use them both. I'll show you what I'm using right here. I'll just bring it up to the camera as you guys can see it. Okay, this here's a little wooden pencil stand that I made, and you can see I mark it here 4H, 2H, HB, B, 2B, 4B, 6B. Now here I got this Casimir 4H because I just happen to have that laying around. Then I have Tombos all the way from 2H, HB, B, 2B, 4B, 6B. Then I have two Stadlers. I have the 7B and 8B, and the only reason I'm using these two is because it has that, what do you call that, carbon mixed in with the graphite. But because of the 9XXB pencil, which is this one right here, that pretty much replaces these two pencils. I don't really need these two because of this one right here. I can do the same as these two. So pretty much, you know, they're just sitting here. I'm going to use them up, and then I won't replace them here. I'll put a regular 7B and 8B graphite in its place. I have a 10B woodless sitting here. My 9B, I don't know where that is. It's probably sitting on the table somewhere. I have a 12B graphite woodless. And I have a Marie's charcoal pencil that just says charcoal. It's a woodless charcoal. I recently did a review on those. The carbon sketch is right there. And this one here, this Negro from Gioconda, the Koh-i-Noor hardmouth. This was a pencil that I liked using to do darks, But now I like to use other pencils instead. So this is kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna just take it out. I don't really use it anymore. Let's put my carbons over here. So that's my pencils that I'm using now. And then once I use these up, I'll put a different pencil set in here. So I just happen to have these Tombos. Um, when they're used up, I won't buy them anymore. Not because they're bad, because they're really good. I've drawn a lot of drawings with them. But because I happen to, want to use my Mitsubishis, I want to use my Stadlers, so I'm going to use those up. So I won't go and purchase more mono, because mono and Mitsubishi, they're pretty much the same. They're really high quality Japanese pencils. So that's just it. I'm not like stuck on a brand or anything. I just use anything that I happen to have that I think works great. Okay, this has got to go up like so. Okay, looks a lot better. And then blend, take that highlight out of there. Well, thanks, 378. I just did that in my wood shop. I have a woodworking setup in my garage. I like to work with wood too. I just ran out there one day and says, you know what? I have to have a way to see these pencils a lot easier than I currently can. So I came up with that. It works great, and I'm happy with it. Okay, I gotta try something here. Da, da, da. See, I'm not getting the same kind of feedback here. Yeah, heavy duty styrofoam should work just fine. As long as you find a way to anchor that styrofoam down on your desk, because it'll just, unless you got a wide base, it's just going to tip over. You need a wide base. That's going to take up some of your table space, that's for sure. Oh, good. Side table, great. I'll do it. As long as you got the space. Space is king, especially for drawing. Okay, now this has got more of a curve up to here. All right. Yeah, I'm getting somewhere. Hey, Ghost the Wolf. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Glad you can drop in. I think it just comes down to some patience. Just, There's no hurry. You can see that here I am on a Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning where I am. I don't know where all you guys are at, except for one gentleman from Belarus. But yeah, hey, where are you guys at? Why don't you all tell me where you're at? Give me an idea of whereabouts on this planet everybody's coming from. England, Clive. So it must be what, midnight? Midnight in England? Would that be right? South Africa, Charlene. St. Louis, Janet, you're only 4 hours away from me. I'm in Northwest Arkansas. All right. Clive, it's 5:55. Oh, I thought you had a 12-hour difference there. Indiana, it's almost 1 o'clock. Oh, Indiana, I thought you were Central Time. You're Eastern Time. Upstate New York, Carol. Okay, Carol, you're what? You're an hour ahead, I think, or I think an hour ahead. Eastern Time. Well, I didn't know Indiana was Eastern Time. Okay. Because you're not too far from me either. I took a drive to Purdue back in the mid 80s. Meet up with a friend out there in a winter wonderland in Indiana. If I remember, it was Lafayette or something like that. I could be wrong. Don't remember. Wherever Purdue is, that's where I was. 22:20. Wow, you're going to make me do math, artist? 22:25. That's 10:25 p.m. Military time. 11:55. It's 11:55. Well, it's 11:56 here, where I am, Central Time. But yeah, you're only 4 hours away from me, so no doubt you're same time. Okay, something is not right here. I got it. New York, yeah, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in New York. New York. Indiana. Oh, you're in Indiana. Artist, you're in Indiana? I mean, India? Okay. $3.78 from Japan. Cool. What time is it in Japan? 3:78. 1:57 a.m.? Is that a.m.? I guess it would be a.m. Otherwise, you'd be over here. You're a trooper, man, if you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning just to watch me draw. Wow, appreciate that. That's awesome. Well, I certainly hope it was worth it to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your eyes getting cross and everything watching this. Awesome. Uh, yeah, helps to be retired. Okay. I'm going to switch over now. Whew. Okay. Well, I'm ready for breakfast, even though it's lunch now. I haven't had my fiddles this morning. Hey, I really appreciate you guys all dropping in. I hope you learned something from this. Um, just a little bit of info. Um, if you're not familiar, the live chats also have a thing called super chat. If you ever want to drop a coin my way, I appreciate it. Support my work. Anyway, I'm going to be signing off right now, and I'm going to get me something to eat so that I don't fall on my face. I'm currently hobbling along on crutches. I hurt myself 2 weeks ago, and the leg's taking its sweet time healing, so I gotta go and hobble away. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video and live stream. Take care. Bye.